Hi guys, it's CalamitiesDawn here and welcome back to another mod showcase. The mod that we're looking at today is called Spawn, and I will put the comment that left the suggestion for it somewhere on the screen now. I also want to do a quick PSA. We don't have our mod showcase platform. The previous world got corrupted, so I've had to do a new world, and as of recording I have not had time to build a new mod showcase platform, so we'll just go with it as best as we can. But first things first, Spawn is an animal-based mod that adds new animals with niches and personalities to the Minecraft world. So let's have a look, shall we? So the first animal we have found is a hamster. They do have varying facial changes or animations is the word I was looking for. I'm trying to look at this guy's little face, but he's just not having a bar of it today. So there is another guy over here. He looks quite old and wise. But they've got any hamsters can be found in the plains and meadows and are more commonly in sunflower fields. The Minecraft sunflower has been replaced with a new one that rotates with the sun and can be farmed for sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds can be roasted and then be eaten eaten fast like dried kelp. Hamsters spawn with 4 default variants and randomly look out for danger by standing on their back feet. Hamsters can be tamed with sunflower seeds. Once tamed, they can be told to sit and follow like other pets. They are very territorial, and ones that are tamed to the same player will try to kill each other. Oh, that's lovely. Hamsters actively collect items and stuff them in their cheek pouches. Players can open their tamed hamster's cheek pouch and use it as portable storage. Alrighty, so we have our first hamster here. Here's the other one. So these are the first two we saw at the start of the showcase, and then these are the other two variants that they have. So that is quite cool looking. I like that there is a bit of color difference. I like this guy. He looks old. Old and wise, I suppose. And these are the new sunflowers. So I will do a quick showcase of how these look. So at the minute they're currently facing the sun. But if we switch it to noon, they should start. Here we go. Here's this one. This one's moved. So they should eventually all start moving. There we go. They're starting to go now. There we go. So yeah, as the mod says, these ones will move in the direction of it. Okay, I just want to come in here and quickly say that I was trying to figure out how to get the sunflower seeds naturally. I cannot find a way at all. I have looked through several forums. I've actually looked through even the mod page forum, and I could not find anything there that would indicate it. There is also a comment that was left by somebody who's made a data pack. I don't know if they are on the team or not. I'll have to double check that. But I'll leave their little data pack down underneath the under the link for this mod pack, because they have noted, and most of other people in the forum comments have noticed, that if you are using any other mod that requires normal Minecraft sunflowers, this mod makes that completely inaccessible. You cannot use those mods because it completely overhauls normal Minecraft sunflowers. So I'll leave that data pack so that fixes it, so that you can convert 2 of these into a normal sunflower. As for that, I have no idea how to get the sunflower seeds, so I'm just going to grab some from our creative menu and go from there. I don't know if this is something that's going to be eventually fixed. I can't find the answer for the version of the mod I am using. I'm sorry. If I find anything, I'll leave it in a comment in the description below. But let's go tame some hamsters. So let's go up to a hamster. Let's grab this guy over here. So they will come running at you when you have, there's a little bubby, when you have the sunflower seeds. And he is tamed. Okay, so if you shift and right click, you get their little hamster menu. I love the little hamster face in it. That is awesome. I don't think there's any way to pick them up, but they will follow you. I'm going to do something absolutely cruel, and I do apologize. I'm going to find another hamster. I'm going to tame it and see how aggressive these guys are, because if I remember reading it correctly, they will attack any other hamster tamed. So, sorry, my guy. Oh, look at his face. No, apparently not. Oh, there we go. It's happening. So yes, if you want to have multiple hamsters, I don't think there's any way to override it. These guys will just naturally attack each other. And I suppose the only way you could do it is by having, like, the rest placed away somewhere where they can't attack each other. But these guys are extremely territorial, and you can technically only have 1 per person. And there you go, hamster was slain by hamster. Other than that, I don't really think there's much else. I'm going to see when I have our hamster if there's an animation for stuffing items in its cheeks. Where did you go? There. Let's just stuff a whole bunch of stuff in its cheeks. Oh my god, it does. So if you wanted to have a puffy hamster, I suggest that just fill it up with some stuff and go from there. And there is a slight change in texture depending on how full you have the hamster. So that's an interesting little detail, and I love that. So this is the ant garden, and it will spawn ants. So we have a little ant here. Ants spawn in anthills, which can be found in savannas, plains, and biomes with a forest tag. They are common in ant gardens, and we can see that due to them working all the time, we now have rotten logs, fallen leaves, and a bit of coarse dirt and decay just from them working their little legs off. And we have different types of ants by the looks of it, so that's nice. We have there's an anthill block. So we have just the red and brown ant, and then the dark brown ant as well. But there are a lot of these guys here. They will spawn with randomized speed, health, and attack, and are neutral like zombie piglin. They'll all attack you if you anger one. They have two variants, red and black. Oh, so it's black. I said brown. That's my fault. And black ants can only be found at ant gardens. So these guys can be found anywhere. And these guys over here only come into the ant garden. So if you're wanting to find these guys, you will need to come to a biome like this. They also have rotten log anthills as well. They can be bred, and their children will acquire and improve on traits from their parents. Ants work like bees and can set their home in anthills. Instead of pollinating flowers, they collect resources from dead bushes and tall grass and bring them back to their home. Anthills will have a resource level of 5 and will rot a 3x3 area below them, then going back to a resource level of 0. This process is driven by a new recipe type and can be looked into with JEI, but generally they will turn wood into rotten wood, leaves into fallen leaves, and dirt blocks into ant mounds. Ant mounds are a new brushable block, which we'll try out in a second, that when destroyed, they will anger nearby ants. They can be found at ant mounds, and they can be made by an anthill, having different loot tables and helping players acquire tamed ants, string, leather, and more. So if we brush away this, there we go. So when you brush them, you do have a chance of getting other items. You can get more ants. So the other things that they have got there, rotten logs have a new unique wood set. Not strong enough to craft signs and build boats, but able to be mined faster. Cracked rotten planks will also be obtained by clicking with an axe on rotten planks, and which produce scary creaky noises when walked on. Fallen leaves can be found in ant mounds and ant gardens are a new decorative block. Ant pupae can also be found rarely in ant mounds, which when clicked on the ground they spawn baby tamed ants. Tamed ants work like dogs. They attack any mob you attack, and their abdomen can be colored with dyes. Okay, so I want to see if one of these guys that came out of the hole, because apparently the guys that come out of the hole are tamed. I could be wrong. No. Nope. I'll try again and see, but it could be just me misinterpreting it. Tamed ants will target other adult tamed ants with different colored abdomen, effectively making you able to set up ant wars. Ant farms can be crafted with ant pupae and are beehive alternatives to regular ant hills because they can be collected without silk touch and be renewably made. Ant mounts are a new dungeon structure found in ant gardens. They have 4 possible variations and are full of ant and ant mounds. The gameplay of the structure consists of brushing ant mounds and digging the packed mud to get into the other chambers. Just be sure not to hit an ant or break an ant mound or ant hill because ants fight back. The structure has 4 main unique items to find: ant pupa, crown pottery shard, spade pottery shard beforehand as well, and the rot music disc. So the other thing we want to look at is we want to tame ants. So I know there's something about ant pupae that we can do. A pupa, sorry. And there's a little bubby ant. And if we make it green, so yeah, you can dye ones that are tamed to you. I don't know if you can make them sit. Yes, you can. Okay. So they can sit. All right, so the rotten log palette consists of the stripped rotten wood, the rotten planks, cracked rotten planks, stairs, slab, trapdoor, which I actually like the look of the trapdoor. The door doesn't look too bad either. The fence, whoops, the fence and the gate. So that is the palette that comes out of the wood for the ant garden. Okay, so out of the items that you can get, we obviously use the pupa to make our little green ant guy who's following. We also can make some pottery. So we'll do the crown and the spade, and these are the sherds you can collect when you have one of the ant garden dungeons. So the next creature we're going to look at is the snail. I did say that I think all of the other animals left in this were in the ocean. There was the snail. That is the only exception to that. So after that, all of the other ones will be in the ocean. Snails can be found in tigers and old growth pine. Spruce tigers rarely and are as useful as they are shy. So this is the snail. He looks quite interesting. He kind of reminds me of the snail phones from One Piece, which is kind of weird, but I think it's just the way that the eyes sit reminds me of them. But snails retreat in their shell when taking damage, so there we go. Nice little animation there. I'll try it with this one so we can see it while we're looking directly at him. Or when a non-crouching player is nearby. When in their shell, they are immune to melee damage lower than 12 and cannot move. You can remove a snail shell by shooting a projectile at a snail while it is not hiding. The shell regrows with time. Snail shells have 4 main uses. They can be used to turn into bone meal. They can be used to craft potted sweet berries, a new block that will allow you to farm sweet berries without being pricked. It can be used in conjunction with other ingredients to create escargot, and it could be used as a building material to make some new blocks. So let's try out that, shall we? So now he has no shell, so now he's a slug. But, as they said, we can have a look at the things that we can do. So, the blocks that you can build out of this is a big snail shell tiles, stairs, and slabs. So, to make some potted sweet berries, you will need 4 sweet berries and a snail shell, and that will make your potted sweet berries, which we will try in a second to see if it does allow us to grab sweet berries without being pricked. Alright, so I may have read that wrong. Sorry, but if we go up here and jump on this while it has been placed, it will not prick us, and then you can just easily grab your sweet berries as such. We also need to look at how to make escargot. So to make escargot, you need mucus, which I'll tell you how to get in a moment, 2 dried kelp, a milk bucket, and a snail shell, and you'll get your escargot. When snails get wet, they produce a mucus trail. This can be triggered by making them stand on wet sponges, mud, or getting in contact with water, right-clicking them with a bucket of water, or exposing them to rain. Okay, so where is our snail friend that was here 2 seconds ago? Where did he go? Here he is down here. So if we right-click him with water, he will then produce mucus. We can also grab another one. Whoop, oh, and it is sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. We can do some mud and some wet sponge and spawn a snail on top of it, and they will automatically make some mucus. So they won't be able to make mucus directly on mud blocks, and I think that's just because the way mud blocks are textured in. But he should theoretically make some after. Oh, there's mucus there. There we go. So he does do it. I think if you wanted the mucus, though, you'd be better either placing a wet sponge or grabbing a water bucket and right-clicking. Mucus slows down all mobs that aren't snails, and it can be collected to either be cooked into slime or turned into mucus blocks. Mucus blocks slow down entities on contact and solidify when next to water, making players able to walk on them. The solidification of mucus spreads through mucus blocks in a circular manner. So let's grab a mucus block and have a look at how that works. So we have our lovely mucus block, and it is very sticky. And I can't jump when I'm in it. But if we go and place this one next to water, or in water, then it does solidify completely. So whereas up here it's semi-transparent, when you get here it is solid, and it does not slow you down at all. With Phantom Membrane, mucus blocks can be turned into ghostly mucus blocks, which will work the same way, but when not solidified can be walked through just fine and do not slow the player down. When snails are bred, they will both lay clutches of eggs to mimic how snails are hermaphroditic in real life. So this is the ghostly mucus block. That's the difference between the two, and it does not do anything. I cannot jump on top of it. I just walk straight through it. And then when it's solidified, you can walk on top of it as you would with normal solidified mucus. And to grab mucus, you just smack it. It's that simple. So you don't need any special tool to grab the mucus. It is just easy to whack it and pick it up. Now, yeah, if you're in creative, these guys won't hide. If you're in survival, they will. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You're going to have to need to wait till they pop out of their shell. And then I believe you'll need to sneak to not spook them. Our other guy still hasn't grown back a shell yet, so he'll get there. Yeah, so if you are wanting to come close to these guys, if you run, it will spook them and they will hide. Whereas if you stay crouched, they won't be bothered by you and will just continue about their day. The other thing is, this is what snail eggs look like. I don't know. I could not for the life of me figure out how you're meant to breed these guys. I can't find it anywhere in the description. So if you know, please leave it in the description below, or if I find it, as I said before, with any of the other things that I find answers to later, I will put a comment I'll leave a comment and I'll pin it so that everyone can see it. But so far, I can't figure out how this works. As it says here, clams can be found in all oceans and come in a ton of different variants. They can be collected and used for aquariums or crushed into food, and very useful shells. Clams have 3 different types. The wedge, which I believe is this one. I could be wrong. Wedge, shell, scallop, and giant clam. Giant clams can only be found in warm oceans. Clams will generate on the ocean floor with different base colors, patterns, and dye patterns. Giant clams anchor on sand or corals, so these are just normal ones here, and will randomly make bubbles. Clams can be collected with an empty hand and then placed down wherever. Collected clams won't despawn. When a collected clam is placed in a crafting table, it will turn into clam meat and leave shell fragments behind. Clam meat can then be cooked and turned into clam chowder, and shell fragments have a variety of different uses. Shell fragments can be crafted with a pressure plate into a clam launcher, a new redstone block that launches entities into the air in a specific direction when clicked or powered. Shell fragments can be crafted with a string into a casting net, a new item that can catch 2 to 16 mobs of the same type. The capturing only works when the mobs that can be bucketed, with the exception of octopuses and clams themselves. Shell fragments can be crafted with prismarine and the heart of the sea to make a pigment shifter, a new block that if placed underwater can modify the shape and color of tropical fish, clams, seahorses, and axolotls at the cost of dyes and prismarine, shards, and or crystals. Oh, here is another one. This isn't the one I was looking for either, but here is another creature that they have, which is the herring. Herrings are a new common fish that can be found in big schools, in seagrass meadows, oceans, and lukewarm oceans, both deep and regular. Herrings drop themselves and can be cooked, and have different sized schools, and will swim using buoys for more accurate simulation of pack behavior. So there you go. You can watch them off doing their own little thing. We have also found ourselves an octopus. This guy's pretty cool looking. Octopuses are curious mollusks, which I don't think is quite correct, and I hope somebody has pulled that up. They can rarely be found in ocean biomes. Okay, so these guys are rare, and we managed to find one, and he's just chilling. It can be rarely found in all ocean biomes. They make silly noises and have an intricate past within the Minecraft world. Octopuses both swim, walk, crawl along the bottom of bodies of water. They can also be found in the new octopolar structures. Octopuses can be captured in many different items, and if the item has a hole in it, it can probably fit inside of it. They can be collected and placed down by octoducks, a new redstone block that can be crafted with a dispenser and a sand block. It can be clicked while crouching to shift between collect and expel mode. Captured octopuses can be clicked on a single chest while crouching to create a locked chest owned by that player. Only the owner of the locked chest can open it without a key, and create a key to distribute to players by simply clicking it with any item. Keys are bound to octopuses, not chests or locations, so if the same octopus is used to then lock another chest, all keys made for that octopus will still work. Locked chests can only be broken by their owner. The next fish we found is a sunfish. They are huge and lazy fish that can often be found basking near the water surface in cold and lukewarm oceans, both deep and regular. They have 4 different variants. Starry and Noon come in cold biomes, so this would be one of those ones. And Earl and Eve in warm biomes. We have 2 sunfish here. So I'm going to take the chance to feed these guys here. So here's 1 and here's 2. And here are the little bubbies. Oh god, they look weirdly cute. But these are little baby ones. Adult sunfish bask during the day if there is enough sunlight, tilting on their side and relaxing for a while. Some fish swim towards the water surface during the day and towards the depths during the night, which we can see here. Sunfish can be bred with tropical fish, herring, or seagrass and will give birth to a bunch of adorable newborns. Unlike other breedable animals, sunfish take double the amount of time to grow and have 2 different stages before becoming an adult: newborn and baby. Only newborn and baby sunfish can be bucketed or catched with a net. So, if there was another sunfish here, I would breed it, but that's not the case, so we'll do the breeding and stuff after. So, the other one I was looking for earlier is the anglerfish. I actually like how small and cute they've made these guys look. But the anglerfish can spawn in all deep oceans. They prefer staying near the bottom of bodies of water, making them often found near the ocean floor. They glow and emit glowing particles as well as love glowing items. When fed shiny items, they will grant the player with 5 minutes of night vision. They cannot withstand low pressure and will deflate when exposed to air, and drop themselves as an item and can be eaten for 5 seconds of night vision. The other one they have are sea cows, which I know them as dugongs, and they can be found in seagrass meadows, a new tropical biome filled to the brim with seagrass, as well as aguil sand and big sea pickles, which I will show that later. Sea cows themselves are docile bovines? Question mark they've got there in the description. They love to graze on seagrass and are quite helpful to have around. They despawn unless interacted with. They can be milked. They will begin to grow seagrass on their backs, which can be shorn, if in big enough quantities. They will randomly go up to tall grass and munch on it, turning it into trimmed seagrass, a new block that with time grows back into regular tall seagrass. They can be fed a variety of different items, and when munching on grass again, depending on how full they are, they will have the chance to find some items for you, including dead corals, fans, and coral blocks, armor trims, sea pickles, coast armor trims, ink sacs, bones, when only partially fed, and wet sponges, gold, copper scoots, nautilus shells, school and shell pottery shards, and tide armor trims. Is the tuna. So this is the tuna here. They can be found swimming around in cold oceans and regular oceans, both deep and normal. They are an aquatic farmable food source. Tuna can be bred with fish. Once bred, they will lay tuna eggs, which will eventually hatch into baby tuna. Unlike tuna eggs, tuna are too big to be bucketed. Tunas sometimes jump out of water. They despawn unless bred or spawned from a tuna egg. They drop multiple tuna chunks when killed, which can be cooked, eaten, or turned into a tuna sandwich. And the last one we need to look at before we look at all the other fun, interesting things is the seahorse, which is this little guy here. Seahorses are found in warm oceans and seagrass meadows and come in many shapes and sizes. They stick near the bottom of bodies of water and move slower and less frequently than regular fish. They can make clicking and growling sounds. They have 4 different body types: bonky, lanky, stout, and tiny. All of them are dyed like tropical fish, following a big range of variations for each one. Certain body types are exclusive to different biomes. Seahorses sometimes can be spawned with a baby drone riding on them. When then killed, it will drop a new music disc. Seahorse colors, patterns, and models can be modified in the pigment shifter. So while we're under the ocean, let's have a look at some of the items here. So we can get bucketed anglerfish, bucketed seahorses. We also have the waterhorse music disc, which is one of the ones I believe you can grab from the dugong, or sea cow as they call it. There's shell fragments. There's some food that I will show you how to make in a minute. Here is the pigment shifter. There's the clam launcher, which we can't use at the minute. There is another music disc. They also have a spawn for a barracuda, but I did not see anything on the mod page for a barracuda, but this is what he looks like. Quite threatening, actually. We also have a dried hamster. I don't know how that works, because I didn't see anything about that on the mod page. Some aguil sand, which we'll see soon in one of the biomes. There is also a big sea pickle. We have the casting net, which we can't use on land. We'll try that in the ocean later. And we have some algae, some short wind-swept grass. We also have the other sherds that we were talking about when we were talking about the sea cows. So we have this one and this one. So we have clam and school. So we have some other blocks as well. Right, so we have red algae. We have reef stone, which gives you a moray crevice. So I don't know if moray eels are something that are in here or not. We have the reef stone slab, the stairs, the wall. We have algal reef stone as well. Algal, I should say, not algal. Stones, slabs, walls. We also have reef stone tiles, stairs, slabs, and walls as well. So then we have wax coral block. We have a thorn coral, spike, heart, and reed. These will eventually dry out and we will get the dead wax coral, the dead thorn coral, the dead spike coral, the dead heart, and the dead reed. We also have the fan versions of each of these. I just did double there, sorry. Which all look as such when they die. We also have spring dragon reeds, summer dragon reeds, fall and winter. Now they do have a suspicious stick. I do not know what this is used for. I do apologize. If I ever find out what it's for, I will place that in the description. We then have meals, which I will show you the recipes for now while I type them in the sidebar. So we get tuna chunks when we kill the tuna, and you also have a bucket of tuna eggs. You get the cooked tuna, and then if you put 2 cooked tuna chunks and 2 breads together, you'll get a tuna sandwich. And then if you put clams in the crafting table, you can get clam meat. And then you can get cooked clam meat, which can also make clam chowder, which requires cooked clam meat, a bowl, potato, and carrot. I probably didn't do it a whole lot of justice because there are lots of things on the mod page that don't quite give you distinct answers, or it's written in a way that kind of you can interpret things the wrong way, I suppose is the best way to say it. But I feel like it's a decent mod. I mean, hey, if it's something that you want to add in new creatures and you want your oceans to be a bit more lively, I feel like this is the way to do it. And if it's something you want to play with your friends, it seems like it's quite inclusive in that matter. I probably wouldn't use it personally. I'm not really big on adding a whole bunch of sea creatures and stuff. It's just not my thing. But it is quite interesting, and I feel like it does have a shot. As long as things could be a bit more explained, or there could be ways of people knowing a better idea of things, that would probably be my only downside, is not knowing exactly, you know, how to get sunflower seeds or anything like that. But anyway, I will put the link to this in the description. I will also put a link to that data pack that helps with the sunflower problem, as I told earlier, in the description as well. But that has been Spawn. Let me know what you think. If you have any mod suggestions, leave them in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next CalamityesDawn. Bye, guys.